I'm over here now. You see, that's a professional. You didn't even see what I just did you, honey? I was over there. Now I'm over here.
It's Friday. Yeah, brother. You guys are like, yeah, the weekend's finally here. Hell yeah, I'm going camping, I'm going dirt biking, quadding, racing, whatever, all sorts of things you guys like to enjoy to do on the weekends. While I work. Yeah, go. I'm that kind of person. I'll be like, wait for you to go, because I'm kind and polite. I like slow down and let people in sometimes. Sometimes I signal for excessively long time because I want to make a lane change because I'm catching up to Super B full of lumber or fuel, and I might come into your lane a little bit to wake you up and be like, yo, I'm signaling here. But no, you just hang out at the back of my trailer, right at the roll, just do. I would just like to just pit maneuver, but big rig style. But I'm doing it with my trailer. You know what I mean? But on the front side, not the back side. Oh, I got one story. Man, I wish I used to have the newspaper clipping for this. This happened in Whitehorse when I was a kid. And actually when I met my now wife, it was actually taped to my mirror. Like a trophy in my Honda Civic. But at the time, 1980 Chevrolet Malibu 2-door. It had the big block, and I'm talking about 267 V8 2-barrel. It was my sister's car that she had. I don't know when and why, but she gave it to me when I was in Fort Nelson, and then I drove it from, of course, I put a stereo in it, and I moved from Fort Nelson back to Whitehorse, and I was there for a while, being a shit disturber, getting in trouble, and there was this kid that, like, would always, like, finger me and shit. Like, I think he was a couple of grades under me, and, like, he was trying to be cool. He had, like, an 80s Ford LTD, 4-door, probably a 302 in that. I don't know what's in those, but it was probably faster than what I had. And, fingered me one time. And he also had like a 77 Ford half ton or something, and he was like up my ass. We were ripping on it, and we came into the school zone, and he was pretty close, and I laid the brakes from like 80 to 30 as fast as an 80s Malibu could do without skidding the tires. Well, bro happened to have like shitty brakes on his Ford, and I think only like 2 of 4 brakes actually worked, and it was mostly on the back, and he had his dirt bike in the back. Locks him up. I'm watching this in the mirror. I'm like, yeah, go right ahead and fucking rear end me because you're at fault. And bro fucking almost was gonna hit me, swerved, went up on the grass on the median square curb, bike fell down. Me and my buddy are just laughing. And on the same day later, he was driving his 80s LTD. And we were coming, if you know Whitehorse, we were coming out of downtown going up 2 Mile Hill, and I seen him. I started accelerating a little bit. My bro in the passenger seat, bench seat in the front of the 80 mile, reaches over, column shift, slaps her in first for me, wakes up the 2 barrels, and I literally on the floor and rear-ended him. Boom! And I want to say that I think I was stuck. I hit him so hard, my bumper was stuck on his bumper. I had to jam the brakes so we could separate. And then, we did it. I think he didn't know I was going to do that, obviously. Who knows they're about to get rear-ended. So these two 80s cars are clashing in the streets. And, funny part is yeah, I hit him like another time. This time he was ready for it because he slammed on his brakes. And if you do demolition derby, you should know, don't use the front of your car. I know it's bad, but I had road rage when I was younger. I still have a lot of it, but I know how to control it. And just before I hit him the second time, he just jacks his brakes, and of course his suspensions wore out because we're both driving piles of shit. Mine's probably better than his, but the ass end just goes like this, and I boom. All right. Then I back off, speed up again, get up beside him, and I give him the side swipe, like right into his door as we're making eye contact. I'm like, you're gonna die, you little motherfucker. You finger me one more time, or I'm sorry, you fingered me one too many times. Now I'm mad. It's not funny anymore. Side swipe him into exit ramp right at the bottom of 2 Mile Hill. Would go into this Chevron gas station at the time where my buddy Millhouse worked. And it's Millward, but because of Simpsons we called him Millhouse. And sideswipe, and then he pulls up to the gas station like he's gonna get fuel. I'm like, we're in the middle of fucking battle right now. You're not stopping to get fuel. Bro's getting fuel, full service. I get out of my car, walk up to it, right to his door. I'm like, get the fuck out. You're gonna die right now. Let's go at it. You wanna finger me? Come on. His door was locked. He wouldn't get out. And I'm like, I kicked his door. Buddy at the gas station pump was, I think he was a volunteer police officer or something. Firefighter. I get back in my car. Bro's pumping fuel. I get in front of him, like a little ways away, put it in reverse right into his grill, and his rat smash. At this point now, my car is smoking, leaking coolant, squealing, doing all sorts of cool shit. The guy at the gas attendant's like, you better get the fuck out of here, I'm calling the cops. I'm like, fucking out of here, fucking leave. Laying as much patch of rubber while turning a 267 V8 can do, which is not very much. I'm pretty sure I had a one-way diff. One tire fire, and then I left, went back home, proceeded to take off all the broken parts off my car immediately, like I was hiding evidence. And what do you think happened? Of course they got my license plate. I was like 18, 17, whatever, I don't know. Young. Of course, like, immediately the cops show up. Me and my bro hid. We're at my buddy's house. Like, at this time I was renting from a friend, staying at his dad's house. We hid in the shop in the rafters, like idiots. And then you could hear the tow truck. It came back out, and I think the car was gone. I don't know why they towed it, man. And the cop's card was in the door. So yeah, I got like a 3-month suspension, and I think I had to pay $2,000 restitution or something. I don't remember. I paid a couple bucks and got suspension for 3 months. And you know what I did for 3 months? Drove my 3-wheeler. And you know that I actually, at one time, while driving my 3-wheeler, cop came around the corner immediately, right to me, stopped, and I was like, oh, I'm fucked. He's like, you know, when you lose your license, you're not allowed to drive anything, right? I'm like, well, what? I'm like, this isn't even insured or registered. He's like, where are you going? I'm like, girlfriends? He literally followed me back to the house, which is only 2 blocks, Parked the trike. I showed up to my girlfriend's house in a cop car. He's like, okay, don't drive. I'm like, all right. Of course I didn't listen, but bro gave me a ride. That was awesome. I wonder if my girlfriend's parents at the time thought about me showing up in a cop car. I was like, yeah, the cops just gave me a ride. Different girl. Not my wife now. This was in the Yukon. But yeah, funny story, right? Tried to park inside last night with the mid. And slid my wheel right max, but I was about a foot too long. Now I'm out here in the rain, but some sweet buckets. Last time I rained down my stacks and I started up the truck, it was all over the side of my truck. Hood, roof, windows, mirrors. I'll have to take the buckets off. We're shy on decent buckets. But the fucking other side is just mud. I know some people don't care, but I hate washing soot. It's a pain in the ass. I guess we need the 24 mid for this supersize Minion Bulkhead. Is it double lung or something? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know if I've ever seen it before, so take the med. First it was like, take 24 low. I'm like, no. No. That's ridiculous. No need for that. I'm like, really? I'll like take a scissor neck in a Jeep. Then I'll just scissor flat and suck it right up before I take a 24 wheels. Which is dumb, but whatever, it is what it is. You know how the game goes. I'm just trying to put my lunch away here without squishing my sandwiches. Failing. So yeah, I was already double lined and everything from doing, what did we do? That power pack for that piston rig. So I'm just like, oh. It's nice to save the time, but I tried to fit it in the shop with my wheel slid all the way up and yeah, about a foot shy. So maybe a tandem would get away with it easily, but it's not very often you pull in the mid with tandem. So we got to go out to Rocky. Hopefully it didn't rain out there, but we're going to that lease where we moved the rig from with Raylan, where the commander was in the mud hole there with the pipe top. Grab that Minion, and then we're gonna go haul that all the way to Grand Prairie today. Probably won't make it home, but we're gonna try our hardest.
Radio check.
Not gonna lie, I didn't take my chance off in location. There's no way we were gonna dig those out, even though the consultant asked me not to. Don't feel like sitting here for 2 hours, chiseling out fucking chains. Do shit like that, just drag the load out to the fucking side of the road. Just back in on the road, let it slurp it on and go. Plus it was kind of leany, and I had visions. My trailer sliding in. Plus, you try pulling 24 wheels that are fully jammed full of mud. There's gonna be a fucking mud show here in a second. I literally just pulled out on the road here. Got a skid steer here cleaning up mess. There's gonna be shit everywhere. I don't wanna, like nobody's coming. I'm sweaty. And I also forgot. What's leaking? Oh, leveling though. I'm on a lean. Yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I definitely don't wanna. I'm not gonna dump it here in Buddy's parking lot. Definitely not ideal. So yeah, it's backwards. It's supposed to be the other way around, so all that shit stays uphill. And I got all that stuff I gotta worry about falling out. It's the Bulkhead Minion. And shit like that. That's fucking super cool, guys. Thanks, bros. I'll make sure nothing makes it there. Nobody ever checks these boomers, because these boomers make it too wide. So you gotta make sure those are in. Swing out and be sticking out like that one. But they drug it around by the cat. Obviously, how else were they gonna move it? So that's some serious bullshit. Because it made a fuck of a mess. It was just piled in the skid. So I had to scrape it all out. I would have ran further down the road, but my center hook totally deleted itself over here, so it was hitting my fender. Definitely don't want to wear a hole. It looks like shit, God. I don't know where I can stop and unload all this dirt. Somewhere. are you wrapping around the boomer? You fuck me. It's gonna stay there going down the highway. Coil guy was like, fuck, I'm sure glad it was dry when we came in here. I'm like, phew. Yeah. It did. I'm glad I didn't. Yesterday on my way home, he's like, it's ready to go if you want to go get it. When I was coming back from, where were we? Fox Creek, when we went up the ice cream. I'm like, you know what? I got 2.5 hours left. And it'll be an hour each way just to divert and go out to here from Drayton. Shit's gonna be falling off. If you're behind me today and you see this, sorry. I gotta find a place to dump dirt, but where? There's a pullout, I guess, up here on the 752 there. Just had the Everdale turn off. It's kind of wide there. I'll pull over. It's like 20 minutes. Traffic's pretty light on this road, so I will stop there and huck it all into the ditch because I care. And I don't want anybody to get a fucking chunk of mud. Then we'll stop and drain and weigh it up. Downhill. I need overdrive. Hope this isn't a cop. Into third. Slow her down, bro. Alright, onward. making sure all that shit wasn't flying out the back driving over it. Pain in the dank. These things don't come off very easy. Plus I had it way up the roll anyway, so you know what I mean. Should be hard work. You know. Go up, go down. Start them on. Want to be a winch? Well, everything stayed. That's good. I used the shadow for us. Oh well. Sure. Something banging when I'm winching, but I don't know what it is. I thought it might be my bolts here, but feeling it when I've been wheeling, but I thought it was the winch or something, but it's just the rolls on the back. They must be drying more out and shifting around, huh? leave it on the ass. Backer into place. Hard and dry. Like usually the bulkheads are in front, but those guys aren't going to show up for a while, so oh, what am I doing? Fuck. I don't even know which one's which actually. Oh yeah, this one's going up. Yeah, I'd say that'd be alright. Do not load from this end. Unless if you're spot bot 9000. And they just happen to leave it backwards on lease. Because they pulled it around with a cat. Oh, I could see where this could be an issue. Fuck up the liner with your trailer. This one wasn't like that. slings might be like, I don't know what you put on a wheeler normally. Usually the average you get a 26 or 28 foot sling. I know you guys from the States might do that a little different because I've seen it. You guys just use one big huge donut, which is all right too. Who wants to play with latches anyway? Sweep this off and we'll find somewhere to go to sleep, I guess. And stuff, said they're gonna buy something. They were like gonna get a 16 scissor and a 16. I'm like, well, here's the problem with scissor is that they're so long. You're not gonna want to be driving, pulling that thing around. And a lot of the places you gotta go, it's not as easy as you think. Especially like the fraction guys. I don't know what their skill set is, but most guys that are in this line of work don't work for water companies if you're any good. I'm not saying you're not good, maybe you're just starting out. And that probably would be a good score for you guys to get a wheeler. So I'm like, yeah, get a mid and a 16-wheeled low pro. You'd be laughing at everything. And then if you get a 16-wheeled scissor later in the future, you'll be set for that too. When you go in the bush, you definitely don't want a 16-wheeled scissor. Or you 2-by. Kentex. Yeah, boss, we got big problems. You better call that robot that spot show. It's Spotbot.